The Ugandan government's recent approval of mobile gadgets like phones and laptops in schools has sparked excitement. Its digital agenda strategy aims to modernize teaching and learning. The National Teachers Union has welcomed the move, saying that promoting information and communications technology, or ICT, in education in the 21st century is essential. Experts have cautioned that robust cybersecurity measures must be implemented to protect students from inappropriate content online. Until now, most schools in Uganda had banned the use of mobile devices.
Welcome once again to Wamba TV. Since the enrollment of the new curriculum in Ugandan secondary schools, it has been not just a necessity but a need for all secondary school going students to have smartphones for easy access to the internet, because the new curriculum is a research-based curriculum. For that matter, children have gotten the opportunity to access the internet everywhere, anywhere, at any time. But have you thought about the negative side of entrusting your teenage girl with a smartphone unregulated? On set today we have Mr. Ahewa Joel, who is a medical worker, but also somebody who has dedicated himself to working with children, most especially teenagers. We look into the effects of entrusting young girls with smartphones unregulated. Welcome on the show, Mr. Ahewa Joel.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for accepting to come and speak to the country. On Bamba TV, we really do not take that for granted. For the record, the introduction of the new curriculum is something that makes it a necessity for young children, teenagers to have smartphones. But we also understand that there is also its downside. May you introduce yourself before we proceed?
Thank you so much, Wamba TV, and thank you so much, the host, Cyrus, for hosting me on this mighty TV. Yeah, it is really a privilege for me to be on set today, and I actually really don't take it for granted. Thank you so much for hosting me.
So thank you so much for honoring our invite too. You being a busy man, we know you have so many things you'd have chosen to do, and you've chosen to be here with us. As somebody who is managing an organization that takes care of children, most especially teenagers, you have so much experience in dealing with them, and also you've seen them grow, and you can tell us what it means by raising a teenage girl. And with the introduction of smartphones in secondary schools, because of the new curriculum, of course, there is a downside to that. What is it that you see as a downside to having smartphones in the school environment unregulated?
Smartphones. Should this device be used for learning purposes?
Smartphones are very catastrophic as long as our upbringing is concerned.
In my opinion, I think they should be allowed because we get the morale to learn, and it's easy to do research, sometimes we may not get time to go to the computer lab of the school, sometimes it may not be open, and it's easier and it's quick and faster.
Smartphones, they can be used to download apps. Now, apps, they save us a lot of stuff. For example, textbook buying, dictionary, grammar improvements.
I think the rules should be, first of all, the children should be monitored. I think another rule would be they could make some sites like to be illegal, and they should also set strict time to be used. For those parents who cannot afford, well, if it's a necessity, the school can work with the government and they can make sure that there are funds for everybody in the school.
Okay, thank you so much for that topic that we are talking about right now. For the record, having a smartphone is not something that we can we can say is bad. We cannot really condemn someone having a smartphone. Gone are the days when people having smartphones would be looked at as a luxury. But currently, we realize that having a smartphone is now a necessity, and each and everyone needs to have a smartphone because the digital world is really compressing us on the wall, and there is nothing that we can do to avoid it. And the fact that smartphones have been introduced in schools and they have been allowed, it is something that is very complicated to regulate them, and it is very hard. However, it is something that helps the children or the youth or the teenagers, those ones at school, to do research. Uh, in a new curriculum, most of the things that are being studied in new curriculum are things that are evidence based. They are things that are research based, and it becomes very hard for a teacher to research about something and then comes up with a resolution, or comes up with something and then forwards it to children or forwards it to learners. However, the introduction of smartphones was actually a relevant thing. However, it is something that could have actually been uh, brought in with certain regulations. For example, um, smartphones, when a child or a youth has a smartphone, it's not a guarantee that whatever they are going to search on that smartphone is actually uh, academic related.
Yeah.
They always have to run fast and search for things because the age which they are in, that age group that they are in, it is an age of exploration, an age of curiosity, and they need to learn more and more things, and everything is on internet. Um, there are a lot of things that have happened due to poor regulation of smartphones in the secondary schools because of the new curriculum. One of them, it has led to online sexual exploitation. Online sexual exploitation, if I can briefly describe it, it is a way a teenager, most especially it affects girls, but even boys are also affected. There is a way a teenager is engaged sexually uh, in in uh, in activities that will lure them into accepting sexual advances from a different gender. We understand that most of our communities around here, uh, they are actually communities that are, let me say, humble communities. And it becomes very complicated and very challenging when a child has a smartphone and she has slept hungry, and there is someone who is luring them into accepting a certain gift in exchange for a sexual activity. And many of the children, instead of benefiting from smartphones, most of them have actually been taken away. Most of them have even dropped out of schools, and others have even acquired sexually transmitted infections because of different reasons that are related to poor regulation of smartphones. And there are very many ways that we can realize that a child is is using a smartphone poorly. One, we can detect that from their academic grades. The child that we expect to be performing very well because of having a smartphone, on contrary, their grades keep on reducing day by day. What would be the cause? It means when they get the phones, they do not search academic related issues. They instead search for other contents, and especially pornographic content that have led them to be enticed by the other genders. Most of them have gotten sleep disturbances because they spend a lot of time on phone, and sometimes in the morning they cannot even concentrate on their academics.
Yeah.
So and it has really affected our learners it has really, according to me, the harm is becoming more and more bigger than the good that was expected from them. I would actually, instead of introduction of smartphones in schools or allowing them to roll in schools freely, I would actually suggest that if they would increase on the number of computers in they would create computer laboratories that were enough for most of the learners in a certain school. Because if there are computers, the computers at school can easily be regulated. There is a way IT people can regulate them and make sure that the only content that is being searched on that gadget is only academic related.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that uh, learners are having phones freely, it has really affected the way they use them.
Yeah, actually, there is a certain institution where I was, and for it, the institution had Wi-Fi.
Mm.
When you were on that Wi-Fi, you couldn't open YouTube. I think there is a way. There is a way they do it in the IT sector. Those ones in the IT world understand it's done, but it's possible. Like even as parents, you can buy your daughter a phone and then disable TikTok, disable Facebook, disable YouTube,
Mm.
and make sure only the only content the learner accesses is the content that benefits her in the process of being at school. Actually, even on TVs, that parental control setting is there. You can set your TV in such a way that only these channels are available unless I put a certain code. Then it's when it can be made to to display the other channels. So for you have been in the space where you're dealing with children, those below 10, above 10, and even those above 20.
Mm.
Is it possible that a teenager can have a phone and still perform well? Because it's something that it's something that we can't do away with.
Yeah, we're actually talking about teenagers having phones. We are not actually demonizing the whole thing. When we talk about it, it is not actually demonizing the whole thing. However, we are looking at how we can regulate it. You see, self-control is a life skill that is not possessed by each and every person.
Yeah.
We realize that we have children that been having smartphones even when they were in lower classes, but now they have finished their nursing courses. There are others at the university, and they are still with their smartphones. They have never gotten pregnant. They have never been found engaged in any activity that could be related to the effect of having a smartphone. It is highly possible, only that sometimes uh, when we leave them to have that free range system of managing their phones, yeah, I actually urge parents to at least talk about phones once in a while. Sometimes it annoys the adolescents to talk about them when they're on their phones, but just one word that you speak today, it can help them. It can help. They'll keep on remembering it. I remember, maybe to take you a little back in during time for COVID. Previously, we used to have counseling talks with our girls every, like, at least twice in a month. Most of them wouldn't be liking it, would be talking about it, and they'd be like, those are the daily things that they talk about. But at least we would make sure that they listen. So, and during that period, everything was fine. But we realized the 2 years that we were off physical interaction with them,
due to the lockdown.
Due to the lockdown. We realized that very many of them got pregnant, very many of them got married, and realized that they were actually missing that aspect that were instilling in them, though it sounded as if it is something ordinary. So, similarly to these smartphones, when your child is so much glued on their smartphones, there is something that they are doing that is not normal. I believe there is something that is actually keeping them there. There is what they call sexting. Sexting is a way of online sexual exploitation. Sexting, people keep on they keep on texting the texts that are sent to your girl. Let me see, like I would call them immoral or things that could be sexually enticing them
Yeah.
into a certain sexual activity. And the more they continue sexting them, it becomes very hard for them to resist because their minds are always very sharp and they keep on wanting to know what is beyond what they don't know. So I believe when your teenager, as a parent, when your teenager is glued on the phone all the time, there is something that is not ordinary that is going on. So one of the other things that you'd know that there is something that your child is doing on phone that is not okay. Some of them even start getting gifts. You'll be having a child, you bought a smartphone, maybe a techno phone, but before you know it, your child has an iPhone, your child has a Samsung phone that you even never bought for that particular person, for that particular girl. So you'll be asking yourself, what is really happening? Instead of you celebrating, there are some parents who just celebrate and be like, yes, my daughter is advancing. But that is not, we do not call that advancement. Those children, they reach at a level whereby they become stressed because maybe their online lover has left them. And some have even gone ahead to commit suicide. Let us have um, smartphone controls, even whether at school or whether at home. But at home, the parent has the biggest part because at school, those children are always very busy with academics or something like that. Yeah.
So the issue of smartphones, just like I said, it's something, it's an evil that we can't do away with. And we have gone are the days when entering in the school compound with the phone was evil.
Yes,
But these days, children are having phones at school, and we understand that a child is at school more time. He spends more time at school than the child spends at home, and I've come to realize that I think teachers. I don't know whether they are not doing. I can't say they are. I can't say they are not doing their job, but I think they are overwhelmed. They have so many things to look at. The discipline of the students, the class time, and so many things happening. So it's possible that a child can be having a phone and using it for dubious activities, even when at school. Should we say that parents have not done their part?
Yeah. Thank you so much. I wouldn't actually want uh, to castigate the parents for not doing their work. You said it that children are always having a lot of time at school than at home. Yeah, the moment they introduce something in an institution, there there should have been a prior preparation on how to handle, because when they're introducing a concept or they're introducing a maybe let me say, so anything that is being introduced, they always look at all different sides of it. They look at the advantages, they look at the possible disadvantages, and they look at how they can handle it. I would actually say that we were not actually ready, because when you look at the new curriculum, I'm sorry to say this, you realize that even there are some teachers who do not have enough knowledge on how to handle the new curriculum, or the new curriculum topics and syllabuses.
There are very many.
There are very many that do not know. And now still they do not know how to handle. And now there is another aspect of smartphones. There is also some discipline to handle. They would have looked at all those things, and they should have at least undergone different trainings under those how to handle this new curriculum thing and all the new innovations that are there. By the way, the innovation of a smartphone in a new curriculum, it is something that will help the country um, to produce people that are not dependent on knowledge that has been inserted in them, but people who are dependent on research based knowledge. Yeah, great thinkers will be coming from new curriculum. Yeah, people that can innovate things should be coming from new curriculum. But now we do not know exactly where we went wrong. Yeah, however, the introduction of smartphones, whether the teachers are busy, whether the school is busy, but the whole thing is there is a need for a serious regulation of those smartphones, or else before we know it, we shall be having more harm than good, because we are already seeing it, we are already evidencing it. There are children in boarding section. You find they're in boarding, but they are doing a lot of social media content, posting it there and there, and then you wonder, when do they get time to study? When do they get time to search for those I don't know whether they are called activities of integration. I don't know, when do they get time to work on them, because they have courseworks like at university. They are like courseworks, but they have a different name. Yeah, so I wonder how they even get the answers. So the fact that it has already come, we should just find a way of controlling it. And that one cannot be done by just one person. It will have to be a collection of efforts from different stakeholders, the board of governors, the PTA, and even the parents themselves can be talking about it. But the fact that we are looking at a smartphone as an achievement in a home, there is no way we are going to look at it as something that is going to cause harm to our children.
So yourself, you're handling children in the projects you're managing under compassion. So much as most of the times these children are in schools and the other times they are at their homes, there are also those times when those children are under your care. Yeah, I think you have specific days when the children are neither at school nor at their homes, but with you. Do you use that time to talk to those children?
Yeah,
or to regulate how they handle smartphones?
Yeah, we have one case scenario. You see, introduction of smartphones has come, and technology is continuing to be rooted in us, whether we like it or not. We have a program whereby previously children used to write letters to their sponsors. They used to write letters to their sponsors, like handwritten. Yeah. Even now we still have it, but it is for young kids. But now there is another program whereby there is a website that we will log onto, and children write letters to their sponsors digitally. And now there is a time we because the letters like that, the letters were very many, and the children were very many, and there is no way we would just give, and the computers were few. So what we did, those ones that had smartphones, we told them now, because they were hiding them, we told them we know you have the smartphones. But now what we do, we are going to give you our Wi-Fi password. Please make sure that you write those letters, because when they write them, me as a staff, the letters can't go to the sponsor before they reach my portal. I have to first see them. So all of them wrote letters. just writing a letter, a digital letter, doesn't take even like 2 MBs or 3 MBs.
Yeah.
But we had 79 GB on our router. But before they finished the letters, the 79 GBs were off. What does that mean?
So in other words, people went to TikTok, YouTube,
yes, YouTube, they
started downloading.
And we don't know exactly what they downloaded. So it is something, and we learned a lesson. So we had to change the Wi-Fi password because the previous day we had to put more data. They still finished it. So then we had to change the Wi-Fi password. And now, then we had to learn a very big lesson. We had to learn a very big lesson, and then we had to sit with them and we talked to them about the usage of smartphones, because we told them we have realized you do not use smartphones for academic research. You rather use it for your own entertainment gains like TikTok, or because even would even see some videos on TikTok of them that have been uploaded from the project, from the church, and everyone, and the environment is for the church, meaning they used our data, and they uploaded that content. It means they can still use that same opportunity to text with other people that have ill intentions. So basically, for us, we are trying our best. The challenge that we have is the challenge that we have there. Their parents. Some parents are not educated, and it becomes very hard for them to regulate how someone uses a smartphone. So at this moment, I would like to take this opportunity to inform our district that the only weapon that is going to shape our district. We have very many problems as a district, but the only weapon that we are going to use to sort our issues that are related to tribalism, low levels of education, which is also illiteracy, and other problems. It is only education. If we educate our children, we shall have very few cases of tribalism that are going on, and if we and those things of online, we shall be able to have parents that will control their children when they are using smartphones, because now we are looking at smartphones like these ones. Very soon we are going to get more and more gadgets, because we never knew that we would be having a smartphone whereby you touch and something comes. So but with time we realize that we shall have more advanced gadgets, that whereby if you are not educated, you cannot be able to control someone using it. So please, let us embrace education and make sure that our children go to school, and whatever will happen, please let us try our best. At least when you do your best and you leave the rest to God, at least God will know that at least you put in some efforts.
Is it possible to say that the girls, the girl child is experiencing more challenges with technology than the boy child? So to say, the the negative side of technology falls so much on the girl child than the boy child.
You see, the female gender is actually born vulnerable, and it is very hard for a female gender to, like, most of the things always, by the way, are always disturbing the female gender. So the girls are so much affected by this increasing technological advancement. It is really beating them so much, because it is giving people with ill intentions access to these girls easily, because gone are the days when people would be vibing, they would come and throw something on someone who's roof, and then someone knows there is someone who is coming. But this time it is very different. The moment a girl gives out her phone number, that is gone. because the phone number can be used to get your Instagram, to get your Facebook, to get your TikTok, and even to get your WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So it becomes very easy for a girl child to be lured. You see, so they can choose to refuse. So because you cannot refuse, sometimes you find that you have refused, they have refused the first time, the second time, the third time, but still the fourth person will come, still the fifth person will come, and sometimes you find they have been affected, which is different from boys. The boys, it is very hard for an old woman to come and ask for sexual advances from a boy, because naturally and culturally it is an embarrassment, and someone feels it is really an abomination
Yeah.
for them to do it. So the technology, you see, some of the things that are always taking up the youth, most of them are related to drugs, betting. Yeah, yeah. So, but like in this case, it is only betting that has, it is an addiction that has taken up boys, because betting they can do it on phone even when they have not gone to the
To the
betting hall.
betting center.
So that is something that has actually affected the boys. Yeah, but that one they can do betting while they are still studying,
Yeah.
and sometimes they can get over it easily than these girls. This one follows you, another day another one follows you. Really, sometimes I feel pity of our girls, because they also struggle so much to get over those requests from different men, and others end up giving up because people request and they come with the different incentives.
Yeah.
Someone will come today, someone will come with a smartphone, another one will even promise to take you to Dubai, another one will come. They will come with different incentives that will be given to lure them. But others don't even, others refuse, but others end up not refusing forever. Yeah.
So is there a way out?
Yeah. Yeah. The only way out that I'm seeing is it is a collaborative way. This is not a battle for one person, because the victim is already defeated, and that is the child, or in this case I'm talking for girl child. She's already defeated, not so much defeated, but at least, but now she's already too weak to defend herself
Yeah.
in this. Yeah, it should have been a collaborative issue. If there is if there is a girl child that gets a phone, if you are a parent and you are not educated, please, at least in the whole family, I cannot say that there is no one who is educated. At least involve other people that understand these things more than you, and at least we support these children and we teach them. People who go to radios, like now I'm trying to educate, I'm using this particular platform. So people who go to radios, people who have bigger platforms, please let us use them to educate the masses about the proper usage of smartphones. Maybe if they continue listening to these narratives, they can know that maybe whatever we are doing can bring harm. Whatever we are doing may not really help us to achieve what we actually want. Then another thing is the way out could be, let me see, the fact that they spend a lot of time at school, it should be one of the things to be talked about, because those children are always assembled every morning and every evening, sometimes in other schools. Let us at least make sure that we talk about them. Confiscating the phones may not be a solution. You will confiscate it today, tomorrow they will buy another one. So that one could not be a solution, but at least let us talk about it. They get to understand. Those people also have brains. They get to understand the disadvantages of not properly using the smartphones. Then alternatively, let us not engage so much on smartphones, dwell so much on smartphones. We can have, maybe like at school, we can have computers that are enough for learners, so that maybe instead of telling them to come with smartphones, we can help them they can use the computers at schools, because now at the end of it all, when they finish education, they will not get a job whereby they will put a smartphone in your office and you'll be using it to do work. So the more we make them engaged with computers, of course a smartphone is, they say it's also a computer, but there are the other computers, or traditional computers that we know that
Yeah,
have,
and there are a lot of things a computer can do and a smartphone cannot do.
yes, yeah. So if the more they get engaged in those things using those computers, it will help them also to continue to sharpen their skills in using those computers. That is very important. But if we do not do that, smartphones are going to cause more harm than good. And it could have started and we don't know. And maybe we shall realize the impact in some, maybe after so many years. And we don't want to see that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Joel, for accepting to speak to us out of your busy schedule. You're here with us, and being the fact that you deal so much with the children, it's and hearing from you is evidence that these things are happening. And I would like that parents out there, teachers, the leaders, it is evident that a girl who is below 18 is so vulnerable. If given a smartphone, if given a smartphone, just know that you've reduced her chances of continuing with education, because there is so much that's happening on smartphones. Honestly, if you have had a smartphone, there is so much that's happening there. So the best way to give our girls an opportunity to education is regulating how they access smartphone, because these things, it's easy. You can give your girl a smartphone and make sure she doesn't access YouTube, make sure she doesn't access uh, TikTok, but she uses the smartphone in a way that benefits her. Thank you so much for being part of this amazing show, and also thank you for being part of the Bwamba TV family. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on all the other upcoming episodes with different personalities that shape the society. Thank you. Thank you, Joel, for accepting to come. Maybe we can meet some other time when you have time.